Yeah, I think that a lot of people are focused on the price, but the important thing to remember is fundamentals haven't changed. If you look at the technicals or the historical analysis, these bear markets continue to get deeper. We've had two of them previously, and this one looks like it could go down to $3,000, $3,500. But I don't think that people should be surprised if that happens, but it doesn't really change the historical outlook or the long-term outlook.
Okay, when you say long-term outlook, though, you are talking levels of 15 or 20, and what timeline are you talking about?
You know, we have very deep conviction on a long-term basis, and if you look at the fundamentals, so you know, the 24-hour transaction volume on the Bitcoin network is about $4.6 billion as of lately, and the market cap's $74 billion. So that's about a 16 times multiple of transaction volume for market cap. That's very similar to MasterCard, which does about $11 billion worth of transactions. It's valued at about $180 billion. So from a value perspective, it's right there on par with MasterCard. Now, with that said, this is still a nascent technology, right? It's only 10 years old, but it's been the best performing asset over the last 10 years. It's beaten stocks, bonds, currencies, and commodities. And we tend to think that the public equity outlook over the next 10 years is somewhat bleak, anywhere between -3% to +3%. But we think that cryptos, specifically in the alternative space, can have multiples of that. And so we have that long-term outlook or positive sentiment.
You know, Anthony, many people are convinced, certainly, of the power of the blockchain and the fact that that as a technology is solid. I think the cryptocurrency, though, is something else altogether. And many people say it is a bubble at the levels you're indicating. Perhaps if we get to a market where we get down to 1,000, let's say, and then it trades between 1,000 and 3,000, that is what the fundamental support, not what you're talking about.
Yeah, again, you know, there's a multitude of different ways to value this. I think that we really look at transaction volumes, right? So how much volume of activity, you know, people are actually using this on the network. And so that's that multiple I talk about that compares to MasterCard. The other piece of this, too, is I think that all of this has been driven by retail investors, right? There's been very few institutional investors in the space pre-2018. And we tend to think that the work done today is going to lay the groundwork for the price movements moving forward over the next 2 to 3 years.